Today's video, we're going to talk about should you set a TCPA or target cost per lead or target ROAS bid for your Google Ads campaigns at the campaign level or actually at the ad group level, because you can actually do both. If you weren't aware of it, if you want to have a target cost per conversion of $30, you can set that at the campaign level, which will automatically transfer that to all the ad groups, or you can set up ad group level bid for and target cost per conversion $30 at each ad group on each ad group, with the key thing being that cost per conversion, whatever's on the ad group level, is going to take precedent over the campaign level if you didn't know or weren't aware of it. But the reasons why you would want to do it at the ad group level versus the campaign level are actually pretty simple, at least per what most people are using it for. Myself, I'm going to do the campaign level, but that's because mainly of how our campaigns are structured here at our firm at Guaranteed PPC. But I'll explain all the details on that, whether you want to use one or the other, why people use one over the other, what's going to make you the most money. If you stay to the end of the video, I'll have a case study where we actually switched over to doing one versus the other and how much more money we made doing it. So stay to the end for that information. I'm Corey. I'm an owner of Guaranteed PPC, an online advertising agency that specializes in getting guaranteed results for their clients. We do not charge our clients more management fees or management fees at all, I should say, unless we can get them a certain minimum lift in their profitability of their ads up front. No other agency offers any kind of similar guarantee in the world, which should tell you something about the quality of the information you're about to receive on this video. So with that said, getting into the content here. This is going to be a pretty short video. If you watched my other videos before, basically there's not too much to cover. I did want to cover it anyway because this is a common question that comes up at our firm, as well as I see online, on Reddit and so forth. So with that said, okay, I got on the left-hand side, campaign level, whether you're using a target cost per conversion or target ROAS, you can do this at the campaign level. And then I talk about what the pros and cons are at the ad group level on this side. So starting with the campaign level target CPA or target ROAS bid. Okay, the main thing with this is that the campaign level bid takes a back seat if you have an ad group level bid as well. If you don't have an ad group level bid, your ad group level bid will just be whatever your campaign level bid is. It will literally get transferred over automatically. You could switch to ad group level bids if you were to then update the automatically created ad group level bid that gets created by whatever you set the campaign level bid to be. All right? Now, the main reason why you would want to use a campaign level bid, to state the obvious, is it's a hell of a lot easier to manage a campaign level bid versus having to decide what your ad group level bid is going to be for each individual ad group that you're running. And if you're crazy like me, create campaigns with hundreds of different ad groups many times because we use single keyword ad groups. And along with that, the more ad groups you actually have, the more of a pain in the ass it is to adjust your target CPA or target ROAS, because you'd have to do this on each individual ad group, which, by the way, naturally you're going to need to change your target CPA or target ROAS actually quite a bit trying to scale your ad account. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking, like, let's say they work out mathematically, that is, if they're this advanced, you should be doing this. Many people don't. If you're generating leads, for instance, you need to mathematically work out before you even run any damn ads what your typical client's worth or customer's worth at your company, so you know how many leads you need to be profitable. And you can do this very simply, and people will say, well, my customers are all over the place. Some are paying a lot, some are not. Take your last 5 years or 3 years worth of revenue, divide it by the total unique customers you've had. That's your average value per customer. If you have a very different services, let's say, you do it by service. The total number of clogged toilet customers we've had and how much they've spent overall, and that's my average revenue per customer, okay? Then you look at how many calls it typically takes a clogged toilet customer to sign on from the number of calls that I got, that i.e. closing rate, which a lot of people argue with me all the time and say, I don't know that either. You just simply audit your records, your call records, and if you don't have it, you go ahead and you set some call tracking up so you can actually figure out what it is. Once you take your lifetime value times your closing rate times the number of leads you have, what it costs to get a lead, you now understand mathematically wise what you can pay for a lead to be profitable. Where's your break-even point? If you've done all that work, like you should, then what people will do is they'll take that cost per conversion that they know they need, and they'll set their campaign up to to target that cost per conversion, which is by itself not the right way to go about doing things. Because if you set your cost per conversion on a campaign to be basically what it takes to be profitable right away from the get-go, the campaigns that have been running for years that you're competing against, that are showing up next to your ads, are going to take precedence by Google. They're going to charge those people less per click. They're going to give them a higher quality click and treat them better, which means they're going to be paying automatically because they've been advertising way longer than you and they know how their ads work and they've given them the benefit of the doubt. They're going to automatically be paying less per conversion than you. Basically at the end of the day, you probably need close to the same cost per conversion. They're getting it, you're not. You just simply saying I want a lower cost per conversion without having built up a certain amount of conversion data in your account for Google to give you credit, lower cost per click and all this. Ultimately, all that happens is your campaign goes down to 0 impressions or practically thereof 0 impressions. And then people get on Reddit and the like and they say, oh, why am I getting impressions? And the reality is they ask for too much too quickly. What you do instead is you set that cost per conversion up high. I start on every campaign with manual bidding. I'm going to set up the manual bids to whatever Google Keyword Planner says I need. Start the campaign. If I've got keywords that are not going to show because they're showing first page bid too low, I'm going to go ahead and up the bid to the recommended bid. Then I'm going to wait for impressions. If I don't have it, I'm going to double the keyword bid on all the keywords. If that doesn't do it, I'm going to double the keyword bid again until I start getting impressions. Then, once I have a few conversions, I'm going to switch over to smart bidding, either maximize conversions or maximize conversion value bidding strategy. And I'm going to set the target cost per conversion to about what the target cost per conversion already is at that point. So let's say I had 10 conversions, I switched over to smart bidding. I'm going to set the target cost per conversion with those 10 conversions, when I switch over to smart bidding, I'm going to set the target cost conversion to $250. Then after about 2 weeks have passed, if I am still getting $250 cost per conversion, then I'll go ahead and set the cost per conversion 15% less than $250. Algorithm will work on getting me a lower cost per conversion. You always want the algorithm chasing the results that you basically want. If you go too far, too low, too quick, you'll go down to 0 impressions. So you can't go too aggressively to your goal. And eventually, after lowering your conversion 15%, 15%, 15% over the next 6 months, 12 months, you'll eventually get to the cost per conversion that's profitable. Now you've got a campaign that's profitable, or at least bare minimum profitable for your business. And people don't want to do this. They just want results right away. They want to make money right away, as if nobody else in their entire market have thought about this. Everybody knows what Google Ads is. The people who make millions from it understand that if they're going to take away those millions from their competitors who are sitting fat and happy on top, spending all the money, hogging all the ad space, you're going to have to come with better ads and better landing pages than them. They get better click-through rates and better conversion rates than them. And you advertise for a while for the system to realize it, then give you the benefit of the doubt. Then you can start making a profit. And it's going to cost you money up front to get to that, to acquire the data, but that's just how it is. Of course, that's the barrier to entry that stops every other person in your market who also wants to get it to work. What stops it from getting it to work for them versus what it's going to do for you and why you're actually going to get it to work. Got it? You having to walk down your cost per conversion like that. Or if you're talking about ROAS bidding, walk up your target ROAS, because it's going to work the same way for target ROAS and maximize conversion value bidding strategies. You need to be able to make those incremental changes in your target CPA or target ROAS, whatever you're using, multiple times. And if you have to do this on a per ad group level, it's obviously more work. So to state the obvious there, that's another benefit. The simplicity of it's a benefit to you. And then also finally, being able to do your target CPA adjustments, as I described that I do at our firm for our clients, and which you should basically do for yourself, because we test different ways of doing things. We find the most efficient way to do things that gets the most results. So you can just copy my strategies. You don't have to get fancy. If you do campaign level adjustments, that shows you have good campaign structure. You don't have a bunch of different types of keywords within one campaign, which would force you to do different CPA targets for each ad group, right? Because, like if you have a plumbing service, you make a lot more on a commercial drain call than a residential one. So if you're going to target residential drain opening service, commercial drain opening service in the same campaign, naturally you would want to have a different target CPA for each of those ad groups that target those two different keyword types or categories, so that you maximize the profit you can make from each category, knowing that the cost per click is likely going to be more for the commercial jobs because they're worth more. And if you don't actually set a bid that's a bit higher there, then you may not just get very many clicks for the commercial job, commercial keywords, if you will. Ad group level bidding would be necessary. But in that scenario, what we're going to find works the best is to take that commercial and residential keyword sets, put it into two separate campaigns. Why? Those are so much different than one another. You'll have a lot better control over your investment putting them into two different campaigns because they're two totally different customer types. And then with that, take all the commercial drain opening keywords, break it up into the 300 different unique keywords that are related to that, put it into a campaign by itself, and then control things for yourself at the campaign level with the target CPA at the campaign level versus having an ad group with those keywords where you can't actually write laser targeted ad copy for each of those 300 terms. I'm going to get a better click-through rate than you every time because I can write a unique ad for a commercial drain opening firm. So my ad actually says commercial drain opening firm, whereas you're going to try to take the shortcut, not to say you, just hypothetically, have an ad that says commercial drain opening, not having firm on the ad. I'm going to have it, my ad's going to then beat your ad in terms of click-through rate. And I can do that because I have a separate campaign for the commercial drain opening keywords. You're just going to have an ad group for all those keywords, which forces you to have one ad for all the commercial drain opening keywords, if you will. The best campaign structure that makes you the most money, in other words, is going to be different campaigns for different keyword categories so that you can put unique ads for each version of keyword so you always get the highest click-through rate. And because you will typically need to have a unique cost per conversion for that entire keyword category, you do it at the campaign level itself. Hopefully that makes sense what I just explained. Now, going further here at the ad group level to explain the pros and cons of this, if you aren't quite sure what to do for your business, you can always leave me a comment in the comment section. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, typically within 24 hours time. You can also reach out to me at guaranteeppc.com. Be happy to have a conversation with you about what we could do for you, what we can guarantee for you in terms of increase in profitability and so forth. We also sell ad templates. We've been selling ad templates at our firm for over a year now because no other firm's doing it. It's become quite popular. That is, if we've already worked in your niche market before, we can sell you the winning ads, landing pages, campaign templates that work for your niche market already, that already get a really good result, and you don't have to figure out all this stuff for yourself. We've already figured it out for you because we've already ran our campaigns for years in a market that you're not in geographically wise, different country, different city, and there's no reason why you can't use it for yourself as well. We sell it for a one-time fee, you copy paste it into your account, and you got a business essentially from it. Literally speaking, we've got people that use these templates to start new businesses, whether they're selling leads, whether they're taking calls and then subbing out the work, whether they're selling product through an e-commerce site that they set up, but sold the product that we already sold that we know sells using a set ad template. So these are all great opportunities that are available to you if you're looking to get into something else as well. Anyway, with that said, if you're interested in any of those opportunities, reach out to me at guaranteeppc.com. Getting back into the content at hand here. So on the ad group level, if you want to set the target CPA or target ROAS that you want for all your keywords at the ad group level, well then, and this could apply obviously to display ads and YouTube ads as well. The ad group level, as I mentioned before, the biggest thing is that it takes precedence over the campaign level CPA or target ROAS bid that you have, okay? Also, there's more to manage. Of course, like I mentioned before, if you got to set the target CPA by ad group, there's more to manage. And if you didn't, then you would just want to set it at the campaign level, obviously. And then also with that, like I mentioned before, if you're setting a target CPA, you find that you actually need to set a target CPA at the ad group level. That means your campaigns are structured ideally. And what those ad groups that you think you have to have a different target CPA or target ROAS for, it'd be better to break that into a whole separate campaign so you can start to write unique ad copy for all of the different keywords. And since all of those keywords could take the same target CPA, they really should just be in its own campaign by itself to have the maximum control over everything. And you also, by the way, when you have it in a separate campaign, you can have a different target monthly budget for that category. Ultimately, what you'll find is certain campaigns then for certain keyword categories or whatever you're doing will do a little bit better, and you want to jack the budget up quicker on those as you scale versus other ones that aren't doing quite so well. As you scale, ultimately what you should be doing is asking yourself every month, how do I increase the ad spend 10% and get a 10% increase in my sales? You look at all your campaigns, and if you have one campaign with everything stuffed into it, it's really hard to do that on a consistent basis versus having 50 campaigns that all do something unique, and you can just find the 5 or 10 in there that work the best. Trust me on this. I know because I've managed dozens of accounts on an ongoing basis. We figured this out. So with that said, that goes over the campaign level versus the ad group level, TCPA and ROAS bidding strategies, pros and cons of each. If you want to know, how to do more than just this and how to set your bids up right, scaling account, writing good ad copy, all this stuff, I promise you the best information you can find on all this and to become a literal millionaire running ads for your business is on this channel, because I share stuff that I learned about, in my full-time 40-hour-a-week day job doing ad strategy for clients, what works and what doesn't work, which doesn't sound like a lot until you realize 98% of the information you find online and on YouTube about how to run ads successfully are given to you by bozos who don't actually run any ads. And they're just regurgitating what Google says, which Google just wants to make money for themselves. They don't care if you make money. They want to make them money. It's just like asking the government for help how to do your taxes. Of course, they're not going to give you the good advice. Why would they? I mean, seriously, yes, Google might be an ethical company in terms of providing what seems like a good product to use, that is their search engine. When it comes to selling ad copy, they're as ruthless as anybody else. So with that said, you should subscribe to this channel. You should also check out my blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog. You'll find great information as well there, because I actually lay out our strategies we're physically using to get guaranteed results for our clients there with screenshots, with everything else you need to use it. So definitely check that out as well. If you have any comments or questions, leave me a comment in the comment section. I get back to every single person within the next 24 hours of leaving a question in the comment section. You can ask me any marketing related question that you would like. It doesn't necessarily just have to be about the topic at hand on my videos. With that said, to give you a case study here on this, all right, we had a company that offers digitalization services. So basically, imagine like a doctor's office who has a bunch of paper documents. There's companies that specialize in coming in, taking all your files, digitizing them, that is mass scanning them, putting them in an online depository that can be easily accessed by keyword and so forth, so that you don't have to take up physical real estate in order to store these files, which at the end of the day, frankly, online hard drive space is not cheap either. You can just look at Google Drive and all that, but it still is cheaper than renting out an extra room for storing those documents when you compare it dollar for dollar. Anyway, with that said, this particular client was using the campaigns and doing ad group level bids, specifically for different types of scanning, the different types of documents that you needed to scan. We have different keywords for them. Somebody who needs document scanning, that's a doctor's office versus a lawyer's office. It's a very different average value per deal, okay? So we're naturally trying to find unique cost per conversion for each. Not only that, but going back to what I was saying before, if you don't set unique bids, you actually end up getting outbid for the jobs that are worth more because other people are willing to bid more for those jobs and for those clicks as a result. So if you don't bid higher for those particular jobs, you just end up not getting the impressions you want for those jobs. So you actually have to sign unique bids. But with that said, we went ahead and rebuilt all their campaigns like we normally do with the new client who has crappy setup campaign. And we set up unique landing pages to go along with it, which I didn't even talk about that. The main reason why you set up unique ad groups for each keyword, so you can handwrite the ad for that exact keyword, which gets you the highest click-through rates, but you can also send them to an exact laser-targeted landing page where at least the headline is unique and matches the keyword that the user types in into Google, and that what you also put into the headline of the ad right away, which will get you at least 40% higher conversion rates just by having that headline customized to whatever they searched, and 95% of the cases plus. Anyway, with that said, setting up the unique campaigns and then being able to set the target cost per conversion by campaign for the whole keyword category by itself, having unique landing pages, having unique ad copy, we were able to get way more leads than they were getting, ramming everything in that one static campaign. Now, granted, it took a long time to get it because new campaigns that are much better than an old campaign, with an old campaign that's been running for the last 3 to 5 years, it's going to take a full year of just breaking in the new campaign structure just to get to at par results. But then it started to pull away and more and more and more, and eventually just phase out the old campaigns. This is normally how you increase results on an account that had a subpar setup in the first place. With that said, the number of conversions that we were able to get at the cost per conversion that we were looking for, that were profitable for that client for digitization services, because we had unique campaigns for each category, and then being able to play with that cost per conversion. Given that the cost per conversion, by the way, you actually can use that as a dial. The higher you set it, higher the target CPA you set, the more leads you're going to get. The less you set it, the less you're going to get. And the idea is that you play with it kind of like as a dial to get more or less leads and to absolutely max out the leads you can get at the cost per lead that you're looking for. Given, yes, you can't set it too high, otherwise you actually go over the cost per conversion you need. But you can play with it a little bit to get it dialed in just right, given that Google never actually exactly gives you what you're asking for. We were getting more than double the number of leads at the cost per conversion we wanted, just by taking the keywords, exact same keywords, breaking it out into a separate campaign, making sure that the ad copy and the landing page would match up with what they were searching for, had a little bit better landing page, and which is in that business, one client can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Which that's not every client, but we were talking about revenue in the millions per year from just this Google Ads setup that they had. Went from several million a year, just out more than double that, just by breaking things out into a new campaign and using that structure I was talking about. And then having the added benefit of being able to dial in up or down the cost per conversion for each category, given that would more aggressively or less aggressively run the ads for each category, and we had a more control over investment as a result of that. So that is another main reason why you want to be able to have the ability to buy service category, like in this case, or use case, like in this case, doing legal document digitalization versus medical document digitalization. Having the ability to set the target CPA independent for each one of those will get you way more results, because you can play around with the target CPA and really, really tease out the results that you're looking for. So a lot of that result that I mentioned actually came from just having unique ads and landing pages, but a lot of it also was from, instead of having them group the medical and the legal stuff in the same ad group, so you can't tease out anything and actually maximize the leads where the jobs are worth the most, and not waste your money on the stuff that's not worth as much. We actually put it into separate campaigns altogether, unique ads, unique landing pages, which is what you want to do if you want to make the most money from Google Ads. So with that said, that's your case study that I mentioned I would share with you. With that said, I'll wrap it up with that. Thank you for watching. If you, by the way, need a sanity check on what you're doing, I've been doing coaching with different companies and clients that we had coming in, where I can look at your business, your website, your landing pages, your tracking, everything that you're doing, and let you know how to get to the next level, and let you know if you're banging your head against the wall for no reason, or there's a good reason, and what the bottleneck is. It can save you so much time and money figuring out what you need to do next. And I can do this because I've worked with hundreds of companies and actively see basically what it takes to make things work in a number of different industries already. So reach out to me if you are interested in that as well. I'll wrap it up with that. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Remember when I said target CPA was important during this video? Well, this video here tells you how to do it.